This is a warning. The Grim Reaper of radio, Bob Romanik, with his off-the-record show is about to air. He's probably the nastiest and craziest son of a bitch that you've ever had the misfortune to encounter. The Grim Reaper show will be very controversial and probably quite tasteless. If you are even slightly offended by controversial matter concerning religion, racial matters, politics, or life's problems, you are hereby warned to turn this program off immediately. The Grim Reaper show will be, like his face, very scary and very ugly. At this time, not proudly, but shamefully presents to you Bob Romanik, the craziest son of a bitch on the radio today.
This is Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, America's bi-state voice of freedom, Radical Radio. And we are, as always, proud, very proud to be the Patriot. We are very proud to be the Patriot. We bring out information you can't get from the newspaper. The newspaper puts a few facts in, then they leave a lot of facts out, and then you're there fending for yourself, saying, well, what really went on here? I don't know all the facts. Then you never hear any more. Here at KQQZ 1190 AM, we're going to give you the underbelly. We're going to give you the good, the bad, and the real ugly. We're going to tell you the way it is, whether you like it or not. And if you don't like it, shut us off, because we don't give a damn. We're here to inform you people. You've heard me. I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to make a difference. We all ought to make a difference. We all ought to commit ourselves to say we're going to make a difference. Now's the time, people. You can call, as always, toll-free, 1-888-394-1430. On the east side, 394-1190. We are America's voice of freedom, and we stand tall as a patriot. I'm going to try to get some calls in today, so if you guys want to call on anything, call in. I'm going to talk about Dallas Cook. What a miscarriage of justice, but we're going to explain all that. We're going to go back to explaining this situation with Barrett-Civic and Watson potentially running for Congress in the 12th Congressional District. And we're going to be all over the place. So if anybody has a subject you want to talk about, always. Now, I may not get to you. We never duck you. But when I start going crazy, I just go crazy. And sometimes we have enough time. Other times we don't. But I sincerely do appreciate all the emails, all the faxes, all the calls we get. There's several thousands every day. We get emails. We get information from all over. And we appreciate that good information. And if we confirm it, we will run with it. So if you've got an enemy, I'm like Elliot Davis. I'm the I'm the honky Elliot Davis. Give me a call, and if we can confirm it, we'll expose it, because we don't give a damn. So if you got an enemy out there, a political enemy, and he's done something wrong, give us the information. We've got some investigators on our staff. They'll go out and check it out, and if it's true, guarantee you'll hear it right here and hear it first on KQQZ 1190 AM, because we don't give a damn about being politically correct. You've heard me before. We don't even give a damn about being politically incorrect. We're politically insane, and we're proud of it. We're very, very, very proud of it. I've got a lot of sponsors starting to come on my show and on the radio station. And here's what I would tell all of you. I've had sponsors, potential sponsors call up, and big contracts. You know, Bob, we want to advertise on your show and on the station, but, you know, sometime you get a little crazy, and, you know, we'd appreciate if maybe you could back off. Those people, hey, kiss my white, hairy, stinky, wrinkled old ass. Don't think you're going to give me some money to slow me down, to shut me up. Are you nuts? One, I'm crazy, but I'm not a hypocrite. I'm going to fight for what I believe in, as all good Americans do. But on the other hand, we've got a lot of advertisers starting to come on my show and on the radio station, and we love advertising. That's how radio stations make money. But I think most of the people that advertise, they're not advertising to endorse my show. They're not advertising to endorse this radio station. They're not advertising to endorse me, the craziest son of a bitch, and I am the craziest son of a bitch on the radio, and I call myself a son of a bitch, and if you don't think I can call Amika Jackson a bitch, you're crazy. You hear me? Everybody. You're crazy. Not as crazy as I am, but you are crazy. But for people who want to advertise on any radio station, I made the analogy, and it's kind of morbid, but if you had $1,000 to put one big billboard up that was going to either save or break your business because you needed the publicity, you needed the notoriety, you needed the exposure. On one street, on A Street, you could put your billboard up and a guy at 10 o'clock was going to get his head cut off. On Street B, you can put that same billboard up and somebody's going to pick up a little baby that somebody left in the yard. Now, this is your last chance to get some advertising, to get some customers coming through your door. Now, be honest. Do you want that billboard up where the guy's getting his head cut off? Or do you want the billboard up where the guy's picking up the baby that somebody laid down there on the grass? You got to be honest. You'd want that billboard, your last shot to make any money, to bring any customers in. You'd want that billboard where the guy's getting his head cut off. Now, you don't condone the guy getting his head cut off. You're 100% against the guy getting his head cut off. You think it's atrocious that it's being done. But on the other hand, you want the exposure for your billboard. So that's where you put your billboard, where the guy's getting his head cut off. You're not condoning what's going on, but you want the exposure. And for the people out there that want the exposure, there's no better place than KQQZ 1190 AM. So we want and we hope that people will advertise. And again, we've got a great advertising situation going on. But don't call to advertise if you're trying to slow me down, shut me up. But if you want the exposure, any of you people out there, you want the exposure, you need to call us because you'll get the exposure. Having said that, let's go through our housekeeping, our community billboard. And then we're going to get on to Dallas Cook. What a travesty of justice, and we'll talk about it. We're going to go back and talk about Sheriff Watson and blowjob bearer civic. I had several people yesterday. Romanik, that was a hell of a slogan. Remember what I said about blowjob bearer civic running for Congress, a 29-year-old wet behind, not even wet behind the ears, son of Chief Judge John Red on the Noodle like a pecker on a poodle. And that's egregious enough. Going to have 2 Bearer Civics on the ticket. They tell me there may be a third one. But anyway, I said yesterday, for the people who weren't listening, the slogan would be, and I think it's a great slogan, first, blowjob would have to go around and talk to all the congressmen in Washington, D.C., get them all to like him. Then the slogan could be, blowjob bearer civic, send him to Congress, because every congressman wants a blowjob. That's blowjob bearer civic, of course. And a couple people, I think Bearer Civics people didn't appreciate it. So to them, I don't want to apologize, but I do sincerely want to say, kiss my white, stinking, hairy ass, you bastards. Bearer Civics, you need to be run out of St. Clair County. We don't need more Bearer Civics in St. Clair County. We need less and less and less. You see what John, the chief judge, has done through his 35 years, and it's all going to be brought up, but we'll talk about that at some other point in time. Cruising with the Suns. These are sponsored by the Sons of the Legion, American Legion Post 233. American Legion Post out of Oakville, great little town, Oakville, Illinois. They're going to have Cruising with the Suns, July the 25th, this Saturday. Says all vehicles are welcome. You sign in at the Oakville American Legion, 11 a.m. until noon. It's $10 per vehicle. There's going to be live music, food available, live auctions, cooler raffles, 50-50 drawings, and it's going to be sponsored by the Sons of the Legion, American Legion Oakville Post 233 this Saturday. If you guys can make it out there, please do. We're going to try to make it out. We love the people out in Oakville. Summer Sizzle, indoor and outdoor crafter and vendors event. All the proceeds will benefit the dyslexia, I wish I could talk, Dyslexia Center. It's going to be July the 25th from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. and that's going to be held at the parking lot at the Scottish Rites Building at 1549 Frank Scott Parkway West, Belleville, Illinois. So if you can make it out this Saturday, please do. It's a great cause. The O'Fallon Underwater Search and Recovery Team. It's a nonprofit organization. They're having a fundraiser on Saturday, August the 8th. All the proceeds will go to help and support the St. Clair County community. These guys are the ones that go out on the search and rescue when somebody drowns. It's a great cause. It says the funds will help their activities that support St. Clair County community and will assist local, state, and federal law enforcement. They'll have their trucks out there, the equipment on site for you guys probably a good thing for the young children to go out there and see all about the underwater operations. They're great guys at the O'Fallon Underwater Search and Rescue Team. So if you can make it out to their fundraiser on Saturday, August the 8th, please do. It'll be at the Knights of Columbus parking lot in O'Fallon, Illinois. Bill Furness, our good buddy, he's a great Johnny Cash tribute artist. He's going to have a fundraiser on Sunday, August the 9th at 1 p.m. at the Righteous Pigs Barbecue at 124 East Main in Belleville. Said there's no cover charge. It's going to be an acoustic Johnny Cash performance with special guests. He's trying to raise money to go to Memphis, Tennessee to record at the Original Sun Records. And Bill will be out to support you and hope anybody else can. That's going to be at 1 o'clock p.m. on August the 9th at the Righteous Pig Barbecue, 124 East Main. Bill Furness, if you like Johnny Cash, you'll love Bill Furness. What else we have here? American Legion Post, Belleville Post, 1937. Their meat shoot this Sunday, July the 26th, starts at noon at TR's Place on Concordia Church Road in Belleville. Any questions or concerns, you can contact Commander Jim Forbes, 409-1212. Don't forget the concert for wounded vets and warriors. That'll be Saturday, August the 8th. From 1 p.m. to 10 p.m., presented by the Edwardsville American Legion Post 199. It'll be at 58 State Route 157 in Edwardsville, a great cause. If you have any questions or concerns or want to be involved, you can call Mike Bartko at 618-660-5686. The big Veterans Memorial Day event coming up this Saturday in Bunker Hill, Illinois, from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m., Great time. It's not too far a drive up north to Bunker Hill, but if you guys can make it, it's going to be a great entire day. Live music by Whiskey River. Going to have vendors, a poker run, a 5K walker run, Steve Davis, Memories of Elvis, food all day, and all the proceeds benefit the Veterans Assistance in the USO. If you have any questions or concerns, you can contact Bob at 618-225-7534. Don't forget our good friends at the Mid-America Horse Rescue. This Friday and Saturday, July the 24th and 25th, pork steaks, brats, hamburgers. The barbecue is going to be held at Crehan's Tavern in Belleville on the Beltline. It'll be from 4 to 7 on Saturday and 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Sunday. I'm sorry, on Saturday, 4 to 7 on Friday. All proceeds go towards the rescue of the horses and the great people, and we salute you, everyone out at the Mid-America Horse Rescue. Back to school fair. School supplies giving away Saturday, August the 1st from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Wesley Memorial United Methodist Church in Festus, Missouri. You can go by, you can get some food, you can get school supplies. If you have any questions or concerns, you can call the lovely lady, the secretary, Pam Roth, at 636-937-5854. Don't forget, you can pick me up on iTunes. Type in Bob Romanik and or the Grim Reaper of Radio. You can go to our streaming, insanebroadcasting.com. One word, common spelling, to pick up all three of our great stations. You can like us on Facebook at KQQZ 1190 AM or our sister station, KZQZ 1430 AM. You can hear my repeat performance every day at 4 o'clock p.m. and also broadcasting every Monday through Friday from the graveyard to the graveyard shift every night at the stroke of midnight. On this date, July the 22nd, 1796, Cleveland, Ohio was founded by General Moses Cleveland. On this date, July the 22nd, 1933, American aviator Wiley Post completed the first solo flight around the world in 7 days, 18 hours, and 45 minutes. On this date, July the 22nd, 1934, John Dillinger, the first person to receive the FBI's Public Enemy Number 1 distinction, was shot in Chicago outside a movie theater by FBI agents. On this date, July the 22nd, 1954, Puerto Rico became the first independent United States Commonwealth. On this date, July the 22nd, 1991, Milwaukee police arrested Jeffrey Dahmer, a suspect in the death of at least 17 people. The police found 11 skulls, 3 headless torsos, sealed in a vat, and other body parts in his apartment. That's what happened on this date, good, bad, and indifferent, and ugly, July the 22nd, throughout all these years in our world's history. Just had a gentleman walk in with me, an ex-alderman from Belleville, Devin Kemmer, and a great guy. We're gonna be talking about Dallas Cook here momentarily, but I gotta set the backdrop for this. And I gotta say, for you people that don't like the way I talk, you better turn it off, because I'm one pissed off son of a bitch. You read in today's paper, top fold, front page top fold, city clerk may face charges of filing a false police report. Hey, Clay, you no-count un-American Gestapo bastard. This isn't Germany in World War II. You can't send your Gestapo troops out there and arrest somebody because they made a report. You people have to read, and I'm not much for the Belleville News-Democrat, but you can get most of the facts. Apparently, Dallas Cook alleged that this lady may have got, nothing in the report says he heard something. But I got to ask, who the hell, hey, Clay, who are you to say what Dallas Cook heard or what Dallas Cook saw? Let me give you a prime example. I used to teach. I've got a master's in criminal justice. I used to teach at the law enforcement courses down in East St. Louis at the college. I had a little class project. I had about 30 people in my class. And there was always this little gal that had to sit in the first row by the door, had a purse, big purse. So I had a friend of mine, as I was doing my class, run in. It was a criminal investigation class. Run in, grab the purse, and run out. 2 or 3 guys jumped up, and I said, no, that was just a class exercise. Now I said, and I'm the teacher, I'm the instructor, I'm the professor, and I say, I want everybody, all 30 of you, to give a description, write down a description of what the guy had on, what he looked like, color of his hair, just any kind of description that we could give the police in a regular robbery that could be and help facilitate an arrest. I said, you know, he come in and I was shooting the bull with him because I knew who was coming in. I said, I didn't even know who they were going to send in, but I said, all I remember was that bushy little mustache he had on. I said, but you guys put down everything that you saw and heard. So got the papers back, 5 or 6 blonde hair, 3 or 4 light brown hair, a couple black hair, I don't know why, and it wasn't black. Several of them gray shirt, some of them white shirt, some of them tan shirt, a few jeans, a few light colored jeans, a few dark colored jeans. Nobody was consistent on any of those 30 descriptions. But you know the one thing they all had in common? There was one thing that was on every one of those descriptions, the bushy little mustache. I brought the guy in, and he had a lighter color shirt. You know, he had a pair of light colored jeans. So some of the people were more right on than others. But you know what he didn't have? He didn't have a mustache. But those people, I was the authority figure. They heard me. Then they saw what they heard me say. And they all, I guarantee you, could have passed the polygraph test because they actually thought they saw it. They thought they saw a guy with a mustache, never had it. And I say that to this Dallas Cook situation. He could have seen something. When you get 5 people in a room and somebody runs by, guarantee you, you're going to get different versions of what you saw and what you heard. But what pisses me off in this great United States of America, that they're even thinking about charging Dallas Cook with filing a false police report. He filed a report, and now they're coming after him. And I got to say, about 6 months ago, I'm walking down the street. I looked at Mark Eckert, Mark Pussy Boy, a.k.a. Maximus Vaginus, if you know what I mean, and I'm sure you do. I walked by his car, took a couple pictures. He walked up and says, "What are you doing, Mr. Romanik?" I said, "None of your business." He says, "You keep doing what you're doing, you're going to get hurt bad." Now, that was a threat. I called the police. The police department, Bill Clay, sends me a letter. It's a he said situation. We're not going to do anything about it. But they're going to make such a big to-do about Dallas Cook. Made a police report, not even a false police report. Here's what it says here, part of it. On May the 26th, eyewitness Rose Wilson entered City Hall. Upon her entry, she did not have any papers in her possession. Shortly after seeing Mrs. Wilson walk by, I heard the door to the alderman's closet close. Now, he didn't say he saw her coming out of it. Now, what other than Jesus, if there is a God, can say what Dallas Cook heard? He heard what he heard. Now, maybe it wasn't that door. Apparently, he had his back turned. He didn't say he saw her go in. But I want to... Hey, Clay, and the police officers, you know how much time and money since May has been spent on this case? This case is a piece of crap. This reminds me of my case. Remember, people, when I started exposing Kern and Sprague and Barra-Civic, they had me arrested. 3.5 years. Cost you good people $150,000. They tied up all their police resources for me to walk out of there not guilty, 12-0 verdict in less than 3 minutes. And it's the same situation with Dallas Cook. Kelly, there's no way in hell you've got the guts to charge this man for a crimeless crime. No way in hell. But see, that's okay. But Dallas Cook's opposition, they got him on the front page. They got him top full. They got him in a situation that doesn't look good until you hear me explain it. Dallas Cook is a victim. He's a victim of malicious prosecution by Bill Clay, the no-count, low-life, good-for-nothing, and I got to say black because he's black. If he was white, he'd be a white good-for-nothing son of a bitch. It's political prosecution. No, it's not. It's political persecution by him and by Mark Pussy Boy Eckert, a.k.a. Maximus Vaginus. They're using your taxpayers' dollars. They're not worried about the robberies at the Pizza Hut. They're not worried about the home invasions. They're not worrying about the purse snatching at Snooks. They're not worrying about all the violent crime in Belleville. No, they're worried about Dallas Cook, their political enemy, a gentleman, Dallas Cook, who has exposed these rotten bastards and keeps exposing them. And for them to even take the time out. Belleville police present investigation to state's attorney following an exchange at a council meeting. It's all politics. And I don't want to short the professional police officers. They're just doing their job. If the chief, if the supervisory authority tells them to go out and investigate, they have to do their job. So it's not those guys. Those are the professional police officers. It's the bums with the badges. It's the Clays, it's the Moody's, it's the bums with the badges, and that's right, Moody too. You guys know I drive this clown car. You think you're going to intimidate me? Kiss my ass, you two no-count son of a bitches. You're the worst thing ever happened to a professional police department. But Mrs. Wilson, she's a political whore, she's a political hack, always been for Eckert and Kernan, the boys. Ask the Belleville Police Department to review her complaint against Mr. Cook for false reporting. Why the hell would they take that other than, ma'am, he's got every right to say and feel what he thought he saw, as do you. This has been going on since May, June, July, 2 months that police resources have been tied up. You people understand? You understand now what's going on. They're using our taxpayers' dollars to make political persecutions. Hey, we might as well be back in Salem, Massachusetts. Let's just go ahead. Anybody that these bastards don't agree with, let's just burn them at the stake. You no-count, lousy, un-American son of a bitches. But Cook, Dallas Cook, all he said was, this is what he heard, this is what he saw. Now they looked at the video, and apparently, unless they edited the video, which you can edit in a second, unless they edited the video, she didn't go through that door. But Dallas Cook never once said she went through it. He told them what he heard, what he saw, where he saw her at. But for them to make such a big to-do, and what really pisses me off A few months back, Dallas tried to hire an assistant, but the assistant wasn't union. But the assistant was in the city clerk's office, I guess in Dallas's office or behind the counter. They sent 5 police officers. They didn't say this guy was robbing anybody. They said a person that was not a non-employee was behind the counter in the clerk's office. They sent 5 professional police officers, 5 police officers that could have been out there protecting all of us, all of our families, from all the violence, all the crime in this crime-ridden city of Belleville, Illinois, this crime-ridden city that Mark Pussy Boy Eckert, the mayor of Belleville, also known as Maximus Vaginas, he's saying there's no crime. There's crime all over. And for you, Mark Eckert, the mayor of Belleville, and you, Bill Clay, the chief of Belleville, to waste all these resources on a political persecution, you guys ought to be run out of town. You ought to be run out of town. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. I think we've got Dallas Cook on the line. We'll be back right after this break. This is Bob Romanik, a real pissed off son of a bitch today. And I am the Grim Reaper of radio. And you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, America's bi-state voice of freedom, your guardian of the First Amendment, Radical Radio. And we are, as always, proud, very proud to be, most of the time proud to be in this great country, until you get a no-good son of a bitch like Clay, and then get a no-good son of a bitch like Eckert trying to take our rights away. We usually are, though, proud to be the Patriot.
From KQQZ 1190 AM, St. Louis, Missouri, USA, you're listening to Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of radio.
This is Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of radio. And you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, America's bi-state voice of freedom. Radical radio, very radical radio, and it's going to get worse. And we are, as always, proud, very proud to be the Patriot. Before I get Dallas Cook, the clerk of the city of Belleville, in this article, and it says, at this time, I turned around and saw Ms. Wilson, standing in front of the alderman's closet door with a stack of papers in her hand. That's a true statement. He never once said that she was in. He saw her enter that door. He saw what he saw, just like my practice in our classroom. He saw what he saw as an individual. He heard what he heard as an individual. And then this no-count, lousy, good-for-nothing, rotten bastard, black son of a bitch, and Eckert's the white son of a bitch, to compliment this black son of a bitch, Clay, that I'm talking about, the chief of Belleville. He says, Mr. Cook's allegations were not factual and no further action will be taken by this department. That's the same line I got when Eckert threatened me, and you didn't do anything about it. How do you know they weren't factual? You're not the judge and the jury, you no-count, stupid, jerk-off son of a bitch. You're not judge, jury, judge, and executioner. You're a low-life piece of crap. You're a bum with a badge. Just as happens to be the chief. And why, Eckert? Not because he was black, because he was black and stupid. Why would you ever appoint a man like that as chief of police? Unbelievable. Anyway, with me, Mr. Dallas Cook, the gentleman who I believe has committed the crime of the century. Dallas Cook, how the hell could you do what you did?
I don't know, Bob, but I tell you what, I'm doing just fine. I've received a lot of wonderful phone calls from constituents showing me their support, and sometimes it takes something to go a little wrong against you to find out how many friends and supporters you got. So I'm doing great today, Bob. How are you?
Hey, Dallas, I mean, I know what's going on. You know what's going on, and I think through the radio station and somewhat the newspapers throughout the last 3 or 4 years, the people know what's going on. You beat the incumbency, and ever since You came in as an independent to help everybody in Belleville, black, white, men, women, Democrats, Republican, independents. They've been trying to stop you from doing your professional job, and I think every day more people are understanding. But when I read this in the paper, how egregious to tie up all these police resources when everything's going on for something that you didn't do, as I did nothing, and they fabricated a crime, and they're trying to do that with you. And I think things like this, Dallas, make everybody in the listening audience, especially in St. Clair County, finally understand, after having explained to them that these guys are just rotten bastards, that they're trying to get you for political reasons. They've tried and tried, and you're still standing strong, and I want to salute you for that, buddy.
Hey, thank you. Well, let me tell you, I'm not going anywhere, and I'm more fired up than ever. We all know exactly what this is. It's political persecution, and even the newspaper knows exactly what this is. You know, they're not fooling anybody. If this is all they think that they can come up with to try to get me, then, you know, it's a sad day for them. And I'll tell you what, Bob, I never do anything that is improper, and I never will. It doesn't even cross my mind. I'm here to serve, and it's what I do. But things like this just remind you that, you know, in the day we live in here in the city of Belleville, I mean, every article in the B&D is regarding different crimes that are committed. Well, for our police force to spend the last 3 months investigating this political false allegation here is ludicrous, and it's unfortunate. And I hope our city is very disappointed in what's taken place in the leadership of both the police department and the mayor.
Yeah, you know what?
They are the ones driving this.
Dallas, I agree with you, and I know we've got a lot of good professional police officers. The ones that are doing this egregious acts, these are the bums with the badges. These are the guys that aren't police officers. They're politicians. You just happen to have a bum and a badge. They're bastards that follow Eckert's and Clay's lead. But let's don't throw the good professional police officers, and there's a lot of them in Belleville that do a great job. Let's don't put them in, and not that you have, but I just want to distinguish between the two. These professional police officers in Belleville need to be saluted. The bums with the badge that do the political bidding for Eckert and Clay need to be fired.
Right, and that's exactly what I mean. Our police force is fantastic. The problem is you have a few people in the administration who would rather follow orders from a political boss than do their job properly. And they sit behind a desk and make $100,000 a year, and they play politics. And that's not what should be taking place, and we shouldn't stand for it whatsoever.
Yeah, Dallas, I just want to tell you, I wish that you didn't have to go through this, because it's wasting your time when you could be doing something good for the people of Belleville. And so I say once again, even if these bums with badges and even if these political hacks, if they don't do anything, now they're trying to keep someone like you who's been in office, and everybody knows through your transparency situation, you always come on the radio, always talk to the newspapers, you're always transparent. I mean, they don't like you, Dallas, because you're making them all look bad. So you got to do one or two things. You got to stand tall like you're standing, or you got to quit giving them hell. And I'll tell you what, Dallas, I don't believe it's in the Cook's veins and DNA, you and your father both, to quit giving them hell when they deserve it.
Bob, it's not in me. People tell me, just lay low, just be quiet for a little bit. And I can't do that.
Hey, you're an American, Dallas. You ain't going to.
No, sir, I am not going to, not a bit.
So wait, Dallas, I'm going to let you go. I appreciate you taking our call. I just hope everybody in Belleville, and I know they will, they'll see what this is about. This is all about politics. I mean, I don't know. I've got a master's in criminal justice. I was a homicide detective, a decorated homicide detective. I was the chief of police in Washington Park. I don't know how in hell that they could even attempt to make a criminal charge out of this. What this does, this just puts a bad light, not because of the professional police officers in Belleville. This just puts a bad light on the police profession. You agree or not?
It does. It's so sad, in a time that we all want to gather like we gathered recently to honor our police forces and honor our veterans and show support for the flag. We just got done doing that. Now to come the day after to go through this is just something. It's such a waste of time. But I'm done thinking about it. I'm going to move on, and I'm going to get to work, and I have many things to come. So it's great.
Hey, Dallas, I'll tell you what. I challenge State's Attorney Brendan Kelly to even think about putting criminal charges. And at the end of the day, I would ask Brendan Kelly, I know you're part of the Democratic organization, the culture of corruption in St. Clair County, I would ask you do the right thing and come out with a statement. And I hope you do this. I don't know where you're going with it, but if you're a decent man at all, you'll come out with a statement that there was no factual basis for any kind of criminal charges. There will not be any criminal charges, and Dallas Cook should not have even been the target of any investigation because this was all political. Nothing was criminal.
Thanks for hearing the truth, Bob. I appreciate the time.
Okay, Dallas Cook. You keep up the good work, Dallas. Dallas Cook, Belleville City Clerk. And you people, after reading the newspaper, after hearing me, you see what it's all about. It's about politics. But what they're doing is they're using our money, the taxpayers' money. I'm sorry, they're not using it. Use it. When you use it, you use something to do something. They're wasting our taxpayers' dollars. Not just in Belleville, but all throughout St. Clair County. But I tell you, rotten bastards of St. Clair County culture of corruption, the St. Clair County Democratic Central Committee, this is just another straw. And remember the old adage, the old saying, that was the straw that broke the camel's back. And I think you guys, with my case, with all the theft, all the corruption going on, now you try to throw Dallas Cook under the bus for no reason? There's nothing in here that could be construed as criminal. Nothing at all. But they want to make a big deal out of it, waste our time, our tax dollars, put Dallas on the front page, top fold for no reason. The people have found you out, you rotten bastards in Belleville, you political hacks in Belleville, you political hacks in St. Clair County. They found you out. And I think in 2016, they're going to give you the answer that you don't want to hear. Go ahead, caller. You're on the dark side.
Yeah, I got a question in regards to this whole deal. The police were asking Dallas Cook in regards to what he saw and heard to this woman, right?
Right.
So they were investigating the woman based on something she did.
Right.
And he reported what he saw and heard. And they didn't like, sounds like.
Well, no. That's not what they wanted to hear. You're right. You're right, sir.
Yeah. And so, in other words, he didn't give them the answers they wanted. But why was she being investigated? Or why were they even asking questions in regards to her activities?
You know what, Gary, good point. I'm being an ex-policeman. I'm kind of make the analogy. I'm investigating a gal for rape that got raped and said, you got raped and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, this happened, sir. And you said it happened at 2 o'clock in the afternoon? And I see blood all over. I see semen all over. I know she was raped. Yeah, it happened about 2. Uh-oh. I'm investigating you, bitch, because it was 4:30. You were 2 hours off. You see how egregious, Gary, this becomes? And this stuff here. Where do you live, Gary?
In Missouri.
You live in Missouri. Do you have the same crap over there?
Different names, but still the same crap.
Hey, Gary, listen, I appreciate the call, but you made a good point. Dallas Cook was never under investigation, but they wanted to flip the script, just like if I go talk to a rape victim, and maybe she didn't have it perfect. Maybe she thought it was 2:30 instead of 12:30. Maybe she heard something that she heard that nobody else heard. Nobody can put any thoughts in my mind, in Dallas's mind. Nobody can put what he heard. What Dallas heard and what he saw is what he heard and saw, and he said it in the paper. He never once. Now, if he would have said, I saw her go in there, I saw her stay in there, and there was video that wasn't edited that showed different, then I'd say, hey, Dallas, you didn't really see what you thought you saw. And again, we can never say what somebody else saw or what they're thinking. But that never happened. It's just a clean case of political persecution of a man who's trying to do good in the city of Belleville for a change, Mr. Dallas Cook, Belleville City Clerk. We want to salute you, buddy. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with Devin Kimmer, and I think he's going to have a little insight, the ex-alderman from Belleville, and we'll be back right after this break. This is Bob Romanik. The Grim Reaper of radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, America's bi-state voice of freedom, and proud to be your First Amendment and all-American station, Radical Radio, and we stand tall as the Patriot.
From KQQZ 1190 AM, St. Louis, Missouri, USA, you're listening to Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of radio.
This is Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, America's bi-state voice of freedom, Radical Radio. And we are, as always, proud, very proud to be the Patriot. With me, I have a friend of ours. He's a political fighter. He's been in the game. He's the ex-alderman in Belleville, Illinois, Devin Kimmer. And Devin, do you know anything about this Rose Wilson?
Oh, I know a lot about Rose. She used to attack Roger, and then she always...
Roger Cook was the mayor.
When he was the mayor, she was always up there in his face, Joe Hayden's face, my face. I told her to back off. I wasn't going to play.
Well, why didn't you say, hey, back off, stinky bitch? That's what I would have said.
I tried to be respectful.
Well, you can't be respectful for somebody who doesn't have respect for themselves, but go ahead, Devin.
But it's amazing that, you know, she sits here in the paper and she says she wants accountability. The last paragraph in the paper, accountability. Well, then she needs to start looking at what the mayor's doing. We got no bid contracts in the city of Belleville. Kaskaskia Engineering gives money to Eckert, his political campaign, and then they get, you know, they don't have to go through RFPs, RFQs. They go ahead and get their contracts, and you know, life is fine. It's not fine. You got the mayor, the only mayor in the city of Belleville, drives around in a police car at taxpayers' expense. You know, she wants accountability, you know, credit. You know, she needs to start looking at the administration that's in office right now.
Yeah.
But it was telling back when Roger was the mayor, she'd come up and she'd give her a 2 or 3 minute rant, and she'd go back and sit in the cheap seats there at the city hall, and she'd look over at Mark and she'd go, how'd I do, Mark? How'd I do?
Yeah.
And, you know, she's been a political whore from the beginning, and she continues today to be a political whore.
Hey, Rose Wilson, I'm going to ask you. You don't have a sheep or a goat in your backyard, do you? You know, sheep and goat make people do strange things, and you know what I mean. But Rose Wilson, you got such a big mouth, you stanky white bitch. You got such a big mouth. Why don't you call the radio station? 394-1190. We'll wait for your call. Rose, I know you listen. All you idiots up there in the political arena listen. Rose Wilson, I'm calling you out. I'm going to call you the political skank of the day. And Rose, you can call me today, call me tomorrow. I honestly think you're just a little bitch. You ought to get you a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a goat or a sheep. I don't care. But Rose Wilson, I got to salute you. You got more guts and testicles than Eckert or Clay or any of those bastards in Belleville. They send a woman out to do a man's job. So I got to say, I want to salute you, Rose Wilson. You're one hell of a man, you stinky bitch. Go ahead, Devin. I'm pissed off. I don't want to talk.
They had to change the narrative, Bob. I mean, the flag issue made them look real bad.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and for the News Democrat to sit back and give this
credence and
all this ink, and you didn't see one picture about the flags, all the flags on Illinois Street. You know, that's telling right there where the News Democrat is sitting.
Yeah, well, I've got nothing for the News Democrat.
Well,
but
you know, it's just amazing at the way the city is sliding, and we're worried about stupid crap like this.
You know, Devin, all the crime, and I know it was bad back in your day, but for Mark Pussy Boy Eckert, the mayor of Belleville, also known as Maximus Vaginas, for him to say that Belleville's safe, to me, that's the most egregious statement he could ever make. He's a bad mayor. He's a bad florist. He's a bad everything, in my opinion.
Bad friend.
Yeah,
he's a bad friend. I mean, he used to be a personal friend of mine.
And,
you know, I mean, it's not the same Mark Eckert. I don't know what happened. It's not the same guy that I grew up with and that was in my wedding.
Yeah.
It's not.
Oh, is that right? He was in your wedding?
Unfortunately,
was he a bridesmaid?
No. No, Bob.
Well, never mind. Hey, Devin Kemmer, the ex-alderman of Belleville, thank you very much, Devin. But in passing, what do you think? I mean, Dallas Cook, what a great young man who's fighting the fight. He gets elected.
Well,
They've been trying to fight him every day. Quit fighting Dallas Cook. Let's start fighting crime. Let's start working together like Dallas Cook wants.
Exactly. They had to change the narrative. And that's exactly what they're doing. And that's what they've done in the past. They're going to continue. They're going to continue like this until we get them out of office. They're nothing but a bunch of jokes. Most of the city council are nothing but a bunch of bobble-headed simpletons.
Yeah.
And they do exactly what the mayor says. Just like Rose Wilson. The only difference between Rose Wilson and some of them aldermen, she's sitting out in the seats and they're behind the desk. That's the only difference.
Well, the other difference is she may, and I say may, have a bigger penis than they do, but hey, what the hell do I know? Mr. Devin Kemmer, thanks for stopping by and giving us your insight as the next alderman.
You have a good day, Bob.
Okay, buddy. Thank you, Devin. People, you got to understand. You got to understand that this crap can't keep going on. They wasted all those resources for 2 months on a potential non-criminal charge for Dallas Cook. This man did nothing wrong. But tell the police what he saw, what he witnessed, what he heard. And nobody can tell me what I saw. We could have somebody walk by us and two of us see two different things. Two of us hear two different things. But Bill Clay, what a disrespect, what an embarrassment you are to law enforcement in general. What a piece of crap. I just hope one day that Eckert gets thrown out of office and you'll go with him. And that'd be a good reason never to vote for Mark Pussy Boy Eckert, also known as Maximus Vaginas, and Bill Clay. Bill Clay, you ought to be ashamed of yourself, wasting resources on a situation, a non-criminal situation, when you should be out there getting the people that are robbing all the pizza joints, the people that are home invading, the people that are shooting at people, the people that are robbing people's houses and robbing all these convenience stores. You rotten, no-count, good-for-nothing, lousy bastards. Bill Clay, the chief of Belleville, Illinois. Mayor Mark Pussy Boy Eckert, also known as Maximus Vaginas. You guys are getting the Bob Romanik Grim Reaper of Radio Award for being two low-life, no-count, good-for-nothing pieces of crap. This is Bob Romanik. The Grim Reaper of Radio, and you've been listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, America's bi-state voice of freedom, radical radio at its finest. And we are, as always, proud, very proud to be the Patriot. Come on back tomorrow. We're going to get back on this situation with Blowjob BJ, Blowjob Barasivic, wanting to run for Congress, gets the backing of his dad, gets the backing of the county board chairman, Mark Sweet Cakes Kern, gets the backing of God Sprague, and then here, they come through the back door, the National Democratic Committee say, we don't want you, you idiot. Now they're trying to tout Watson, they're trying to tout anybody to run, to represent the Democratic Party so they won't be embarrassed by another Barasivic. You hear me? Another Barasivic. How embarrassing. So I want to salute Jerry Costello for trying to get a decent candidate. And we're going to talk about the political ramifications, the political infighting that's going to go on with this, because the boys in Belleville have been slapped in the face, as they should be. Once again, the democratic culture of corruption, like the ruins of Athens, Greece. The democratic culture of corruption is crumbling right before our eyes, and we can continue to let it crumble, to help it crumble. We all need, as you know, unite. Democrats, Republicans, independents, men, women, black, white, country, city people. Let's unite for the common cause. The common cause is destroying this culture of corruption, and we can continue to expose, to drag, and the ultimate goal is always destroy these no-count political, parasitical, perverted punks that are called politicians. Destroy them politically, of course, right here on the dark side.
They're coming to take me away, ha-ha. They're coming to take me away, ho-ho, hee-hee, ha-ha. To the funny farm where life is beautiful all the time. And I'll be happy to see those nice young men in their clean white coats. And they're coming to take me away, ha-ha.
The Patriot.
Your First Amendment and All-American Station. A division of Insane Broadcasting. Renegade Radio.
KQQZ, St. Louis.